Visesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya Satarine. Sri Krsna Swami, who is one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and practically the most senior of all the Goswamis, has written some very, what we say, important scriptures. One thing he's done is a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, and which is mostly followed by those who want to write commentaries on Bhagavatam based on authority. He is one of the most authoritative. It is a regular observant that frees one from all sins and grants all types of transcendental benefits. Srila Prabhupada has established the ideal observation of Janmashtami. Shortly after the incorporation of ISKCON, he demonstrated that one should alternate every half hour between chanting japa and reading and speaking about Lord Krishna. You ready? That you start the whole day chanting japa, and then after some time you switch to reading and chanting about Krishna. The midnight arti should be special and should be followed by an equally special feast for the devotees. Srila Prabhupada also writes that this Janmashtami day is the most opulent festival day for the devotees, and it is still observed with great pomp in every Hindu house in India. Ananda ke Ananda Bhaya Jai Kanaya Lalaki, Jai Kanaya Lalaki, Jai Kanaya Lalaki. Hatti Goda Paliki. Okay, just checking. Get into spirit. Okay, so this is part of our glorification. The suggestion is, therefore, that Janmashtami should be great and opulent celebration. But aside from the essential chanting and glorification of Krishna's holy names, there are scriptural injunctions, guidelines for devotees to better please the Lord. So every particular celebration day, Janmashtami, Radhastami, Gaur Purnima, Ram Nomi, and the other festival days that are, when we say prominent, each have a particular set of standards and rules to follow in order to glorify the Lord in the most perfect way and to fix our minds on Krishna. And we'll read about those things. And so Sanatana Goswami has composed 300 verses outlining what these are and how to derive the greatest possible benefit. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "One who knows my transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, again take birth in this material world, but attains to my abode, Arjuna." Srila Prabhupada speaks about this verse. I'll read it again. One who knows. Now this word knows requires a little explanation. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take one's birth again in this material world, but attains to my abode, or Arjuna. This is Krishna speaking. And Srila Prabhupada said this is the most important verse in the whole Bhagavad Gita. Because by understanding this principle, or coming to the realization of who Krishna is, what is the nature of his appearance and activities, and how it is divyam. Divya means it's transcendental. Although we say he takes birth, he doesn't take birth. Although he appears, he is always with us. So to understand how he appears, and what is the nature of that appearance, and why he appears, and also his activities when he appears, qualifies one to go back home, back to Godhead. So, in one book composed by Shivaram Maharaj, he writes, Nuvraja Maha, there is a recounting of the conversation where Maharaj Yudhisthira is inquiring about the origins of the vow of Janmashtami from Lord Krishna directly. So here we get the most authoritative answer. Krishna is going to speak about how to observe his appearance day. It's like we say Bhagavad Gita is the most authoritative scripture. Why? Because it's spoken by Krishna himself. When God speaks, there's no question of him giving something, what we say, that is not absolutely perfect in all respects. So Krishna is speaking the answer to Yudhishthira's question, how to observe Janmashtami. The Lord relates how his father, Vasudeva, exclaims, "Son, you must fulfill the desires of the people. Please disclose the truth of your birth to them." For Vasudeva is also listening to this request by Yudhishthira. And he says to Krishna, do it. Make everyone happy. Tell us how we should observe your appearance. And Krishna is very obedient to his father. And he says, Krishna reveals the vow of Janmashtami. This festival will first be celebrated in Mathura, but later it will become famous throughout the world. We in ISKCON society have the opportunity and the duty to make this happen. While there are many condemning scriptural references for ignorance of this vow of Janmashtami, the benedictions that the Lord promises in these same scriptures for one who upholds the vow are vast and amazing, satisfying both in the material and in the spiritual. This vow protects one from the influences of the age of Kali. Some of you were just downtown, right? Watching the parade. There's so many other things going on, right? The age of Kali. Buy this, do this, go here, meet this person. Right? So many, Kali Yuga means to work hard, get money, and then we know so many ways how to take your money. That's the whole process of Kali Yuga. Is they make so many plans to get your money, and they teach you also to work hard to get money so they can take your money. Haribol, welcome to the material world, Chicago. So this goes on in the name of progress. Progress for who? For the people who get the money, right? Of course, they don't get anything, they just get suffering also. So this vow shields one from the protection of this age. It's equivalent to many sacrifices, countless pilgrimages, acts of charity, of philanthropic pursuits. It surpasses any ritual, and it is powerful beyond measure. And as Brahmana explains to Narada Muni, O great sage, I have not seen anything in the Vedas or the Puranas equal to or better than the vow of Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Wow. So we have a great opportunity to make great spiritual progress. The method for observing the vow of Janmashtami, aside from performing a fast, is as follows. So would you like to hear? What do you have to do? You're sure now? Okay, you ready? Don't leave. Because some of these things are not so routine. For the first thing, it's quite easy. Rise early and take bath. Early. So when we say early, what does early mean? That one should rise an hour and a half before sunrise. So what is sunrise here? Around 6 or a little earlier? 5:30? So you should be up by 4, at least. And then take bath, of course. And then hear, chant, and remember Krishna's pastimes, and especially his childhood pastimes. Perform Sankirtan throughout the entire day of Janmashtami, and continue to follow the fast. So, fast means complete. Things that you can perform: you can bathe the deities on the altar and offer them a new dress. That's called Sringara. So one can offer a new dress to the Lord on this day. This is done in many, many, many temples around the world. A new outfit is offered to Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. Bathing at midday in a holy river or some other body of water. So what's the nearest holy river around here? Maybe your bathroom, because you're all devotees and that's the place where you all bathe, so it's got to be a holy place. But if you can find a holy river, or you can make the river holy, you can chant mantras and purify water, and by that water it becomes sacred. That's number 5. Perform abhishek for the deities, along with the deity of Devaki. So we might have a hard time finding a deity of Devaki. We could also get a picture of Devaki if we could find one, and bathe that along with the deities. Okay, constructing a maternity room, Sutika Griha, including deities of Krishna and his parents as well. So make a little, just like they do in the Christian tradition, on Christmas Day they make the manger with Jesus and Mary, and it becomes like the focus. So you can make a little something on the altar, or some prototype of a little room with Krishna's father Vasudeva and Devaki there, and little baby Krishna like that. So that's one thing you could do. Install prana pratishta and worship the maternity room. So do puja to the maternity room. Worship the moon with arghya at moonrise. Arghya, you know what arghya is, right? It's a substance. What is it? What makes up arghya? What's in arghya? Sesame seeds, water, and that's it. Sesame seeds and water, and then you chant mantras. And you put your 2 fingers like this into the water with the Brahmin thread, and then you chant the mantra for purifying the water, which is in the deity book. Okay, so describing the events of Krishna's birth and his childhood pastimes, perform dramas that depict Krishna's appearance, and read Bhagavad Gita about Leela Kirtan. Okay, so performing a drama. I think you have drama on the schedule this year. That's very nice. That is so nice. It brings everyone together. And Prabhupada liked drama so much. When the devotees were doing drama, in the early days when Srila Prabhupada was there, he exclaimed in a very enthusiastic way, "This drama performance is better than my books." He said that. And he told all the drama, there was a drama troupe in that days, they were called the Vaikuntha Players. They were famous for doing various dramas on Krishna Leela. And Prabhupada told them, "You can all travel with me, I'll preach and you do dramas." But it wasn't practical because everybody needed visas in every country, so passports, visas. But that was Prabhupada's enthusiasm. He wanted drama every day, not every day, but at least once a week in all our temples, and especially on Janmashtami. Okay, here you go. You ready for this one? Perform a birth ceremony prior to midnight, including bathing Krishna, cutting the umbilical cord, worship goddess Shasti, and have a name-giving ceremony for Krishna in the maternity ward, Jata Karma. Okay. Decorate the deity room before midnight. At midnight, make an offering and perform arti. Number 14, honor a feast of Ekadasi Prasadam at midnight, of course after the midnight arti. Then, that's not over. It doesn't, like the feast doesn't, it's just getting started. Sometimes we think, oh, at the feast that's it, no. Then at midnight, and then hear narrations of Krishna's pastimes as well as singing and dancing throughout the whole night. So you don't go to sleep that night. You take prasadam and then you do more kirtans, bhajans, and Krishna's pastimes. At dawn, perform one's morning duties and offering prayers to the Lord. Number 17 is optional, and I'll skip it. Number 18, distribute charity and feed the brahmanas. You can do that throughout the day. And number 19, completing the vow by breaking one's fast. So that means the next morning you take grains. That breaks the fast. The Ekadasi feast doesn't break the fast, but it allows you to have some foodstuff so you can continue with the glorification. So the process goes on throughout the midnight. I told you not to leave. Okay, nobody's leaving yet. Okay, Srila Prabhupada may have made concessionary detail alterations for his disciples and followers, but he maintained and preserved the essential aspect of Janmashtami. And what is that essential principle? To do nothing else but glorify Krishna. That's the whole point. So that day, 24 hours, should be done in glorification of the Krishna. And one can perform vows, one can decide to chant 64 rounds on that day, and one can just read Krishna's pastimes throughout the day, come together as a group, have kirtan. In other words, just use the whole day. The day doesn't start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when the functions in the temple start. It should start in your life, and as soon as you wake up, and then throughout the day you can do it with your family and friends, and then all come to the temple when the temple program begins, or bring everything to the temple in the early part of the day and just have programs here. So this will absorb everyone in Krishna. And that's the whole idea. We want to get absorbed in Krishna, because then we can free ourselves from all the difficulties that come by way of living in this material world, and we find great transcendental happiness. Krishna is that source of happiness that is perfect and continuous. And so Janmashtami is a great opportunity to go deeper into our relationship with Krishna, and I carry that mood of bhakti even beyond, even when the day is over, into the rest of the year. So this is a very wonderful way to observe Janmashtami. So if you can't do all of these mentioned in the Bahari Bhakta Vilas, you can do some of them, but the essential ones is to hear, chant the glories of the Lord. Chant the holy names of the Lord. When Srila Prabhupada was in New Vrindavan in 1972, he was there for the Janmashtami celebration. This was 1 year before I joined, so I hadn't come. In fact, it was not 1 year, it was only about 6 months before I joined New Vrindavan. And this was a very special celebration. Prabhupada had come to give lectures for 7 whole days and then end the program with Janmashtami. So we had a very small temple room, which was about half the size of this temple room. And in that half size, it was divided into two. There was an upper and a lower. So there wasn't much room in the temple at all. But hundreds of devotees came for the Janmashtami festival, mostly to see Srila Prabhupada. Devotees worked throughout the day, cooking for the deities and getting all the festivities ready for Janmashtami. And Prabhupada wanted to bring the mood of Krishna into Janmashtami. So you can imagine, the temple is really, I'd say if where that clock is, you divide it in half, and this way forward is about the whole size of the temple. That's how small it was. And Prabhupada is there, and he is animated. He wants to really bring Krishna in. So he sits on his Vyasasana, and he's surrounded by people. There are so many devotees. People were outside the window looking in. and it was the middle of the summer, and it was hot. And Prabhupada says, give me the Krishna book. So devotees very quickly brought Prabhupada the Krishna book, and he started to read. And he read, the first chapter is the Advent of Lord Krishna, which describes how Krishna appeared because of the request of the demigods, because of the situation in the world had gone down, and there were many demons in various leadership positions. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what is that word? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhutanam adharmasya sadatmaham srajamyaham pravitranaya sadhunam vinasanaya siddhuskritam dharma samstart vinataya sambhavami yuge yuge. Age after age I come. Why? For three reasons. When irreligion becomes high, when irreligious people become prominent, and also to destroy irreligion by reenacting spiritual principles and to protect my devotees. So he comes. He gives his reason why he comes. So that was the situation why Krishna appeared. And that became, of course, his Janmashtami, or his appearance. So that first chapter, Prabhupada is reading. And he starts reading at 10 o'clock in the evening. And everyone is listening, at least it appears to be. And there's a whole bunch of sannyasis, they all have their dandas. And they're all sitting in a row in front of Prabhupada looking at each other, because the way the temple was structured, there was a little row between Prabhupada and the deities, which was like a little narrow way. And then everyone would face each other, and then Prabhupada would be here. And then, so everyone is looking and sitting there listening to Prabhupada. So he finishes, thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Swami purports of chapter 1, the Advent of Lord Krishna. Everyone says, Jai. Prabhupada says, chapter 2. Prayers in the womb by the demigods. Now this chapter is 3 times as long as the first chapter, which describes the beautiful prayers that the demigods are offering to Krishna upon his appearance. Now that chapter goes on, it takes at least an hour to read, and Prabhupada's reading that chapter. And now time is moving. Pretty soon it's getting close to midnight, and Prabhupada finishes. Now the dandas of the sannyasis are going like this, because everyone is like trying to stay awake. It looked like some kind of dance, but it was something else. And Prabhupada finishes the second chapter. And thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second chapter, Prayers in the Womb by the Demigods. Prabhupada says, chapter 3. The birth of Lord Krishna. So by now everyone is fighting to stay awake, and it's past midnight. It's hot, and everyone's been fasting the whole day. So Prabhupada begins the third chapter. And Prabhupada is like, it's like he's not even fazed by the situation. He's completely transcendental. He's animated, he's full of energy, he's enthusiastic, he wants to read about Krishna, he wants everyone else to hear about the glories of Krishna. So it goes on, and finally, I think it was around 1:30 in the morning, Prabhupada finishes. And thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the appearance of Lord Krishna. Jai. The jais were getting smaller and smaller because everybody was out of energy. And Prabhupada looked around. He didn't look around during that time. He was just absorbed in reading. And then he looked down and he said, I think you are all tired, so let us have prasad. Of course, the midnight arti went on during that time. But this was Prabhupada. He wanted to show that this festival is not simply just the rituals of the artis and the abhisheks. If we do that only, we miss the festival. We have to hear and glorify Krishna by hearing about his pastimes, by reading his pastimes, by speaking to others about his pastimes. How we do it, can be decided, but we should do it. And also chant the holy names of the Lord as much as possible. I remember in the old days we would make a vow 64 rounds on Janmashtami. And then we would start as soon as we woke up and go out throughout the whole day, and then in the evening we would come for the festival after finishing 64 rounds. So this is Janmashtami, not like we take care of business. You might think, some of you are thinking, well, I work on that day. How many of you have sick leave? I'm sick because God is coming today. So, take a day off if you can. If you can't, do it anyway. Don't go to work on that day because you will not get the full benefit of Janma. You'll get something, of course. But if you can avoid your work, that would be the best. It's only one day a year. If Krishna said, I want my celebration being done every day, you would think, boy, he's greedy. But Krishna only makes it one day a year, so it's not so hard. And so that day is nice. I usually celebrate it in Europe, and where I celebrate it, the whole program starts from Mangal Arti. And then after Mangal Arti, we do Kirtan for 3 or 4 hours with all the devotees. And then we have a class on Janmashtami. If there's initiations that day, that's performed. There's Abhishek, there's readings, there's plays, there's various types of dramas, there's Abhisheks. So many of the temples in Europe don't allow anybody to do anything else. So we should try to do that here. Have as much as we can of the activities of Janmashtami. That way everyone is together and can celebrate the appearance of the Lord. Then when midnight comes, it becomes a wonderful experience. Because after hearing about the Lord all day, then Krishna, he wants to reciprocate with his devotees, so he appears in such a way that everyone becomes happy. Immediately his appearance brings great joy into the hearts of all. So this is Janmashtami, and this is mentioned by Srila Sanatana Goswami and Hari Bhakti Vilas. So we can adjust accordingly. I'll tell a little story which is somewhat related to Krishna's appearance. Would you like to hear this little? It's actually from the Mahabharata, and it's an interesting. Why did Krishna appear when he appeared? What was the situation that led up to his appearance? Mahabharata has a little section which describes why Krishna appeared at that particular time. And it refers back to Sri Parasaram. We all know Parasaram. He's a manifestation of the potency of the Supreme Lord to destroy, what we say, unlawful ruling in the world. He destroys those persons who are not qualified to lead. He destroys them physically. He kills them. So Parasaram, many, many years prior to that, destroyed 21 generations of Kshatriyas all over the world with his axe. And this was the mercy. He just killed every one of them. Now there was no rule in the world. All the Kshatriyas had been killed, or at least the kings, and they were all nefarious, of course. But now, how to re-establish saintly rule in the world? So the sages are responsible for making sure saintly rule continues in the world. So they decided to come up with a plan. Would you like to hear the plan? Sometimes sages come up with the most strangest plans. They decided that, well, there are so many princesses But we need kings. So how are we going to do that? We need to marry sages with princesses, and by that union, a new Kshatriya rule will come into the world that will be saintly. So marrying Brahmanas with princesses, Brahmins and Kshatriyas together, they produce children, not Brahmins, but actually sadhus. The sadhus had to make a decision. We want you to have union with the princesses. I know you're all austere and you're all celibate, but this is an emergency. This is an emergency. So they agreed, and then what happened? A whole generation of saintly persons were born, with Brahmin fathers and Kshatriya mothers. And they became what we say, because the child takes on the quality, the boy takes on the quality of the mother. So these boys were Kshatriya by nature, but endowed with Brahminical character. Interesting. So now the whole world again became saintly. But then what happened? A big fight broke out in the heavenly planets, and the demons attacked the devotees, or the demigods. Now the demons and the demigods were fighting. Those of you who want to go to heaven, it's not so quiet up there. Demons every once in a while attack, and there's some wars. So the fight goes on. So the demons wanted to establish a base in order to fight against the demigods, so they chose Earth. Somehow the demons like this place. So they chose Earth, and in choosing Earth, they decided to incarnate in various species of life, and therefore propagate the world with demoniac culture. So the demons incarnated in different species of life, and gradually the whole world became overwhelmed with demons again, after many hundreds of years. So that saintly rule was replaced with demoniac rule, and that's when Krishna came. And that's when Krishna came. So that's mentioned in the Mahabharata. So Krishna comes when, we say, the population again becomes very irreligious. You might say, well, today, look at today's world. Can we say people are pious and are living a good life? No. The world is again affected by sinful activities in great quantity. So where's the incarnation in this age? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He came. And he came 530 years ago, and what did he do? He brought the incarnation of the Lord, so double incarnation. Mahaprabhu is an incarnation, and he's Krishna himself, and he brought the means for purification of the world, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare. Kali Kale, Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. Nama Vaite Haya Sarva Jagat Nishtara. So, in this age of Kali, Kali Kale, in this age of Kali, Nam Rup, the form of the Lord, Krishna Avatar. So in this age, Krishna has come as the avatar in the sound of his holy name. So Krishna's name is actually an incarnation of Krishna to purify the world. And that was delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who is Krishna himself. See, Krishna, Chaitanya, Radha, Krishna, Nahi. Radha and Krishna have become one in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that. So, this is the incarnation in this age to purify the world. So, the more we chant Hare Krishna, and the more we can inspire others to chant Hare Krishna, gradually the world will become again purified from sinful activities. So it's a great fight. The demons are pretty strong in this age, but the Lord is the Lord, and therefore he's all powerful. But he leaves his mission in the hands of his pure devotees to distribute that mission. And the pure devotees ask everyone to assist them in that mission in bringing Krishna consciousness to the world. So as we practice Krishna consciousness, we should also think, this is for everyone, not just for me, my family, or my community, but it's for everyone. Therefore we want everyone to become Krishna conscious. Okay, so this is a little bit about Janmashtami. Read about Krishna's advent, read about his childhood pastimes, describe his different leelas, and chant the holy names. If we can do that throughout the day, have abhishek, do dramas, and worship the deity in so many different ways, make at least 108 offerings with 53 preparations, 56. Huh? On 54 offerings with 108 preparations for each offering. It's not hard. You have to organize it. And we have so much cooking skill here, I can see it. And like that, and you just make profuse amount of offerings. You should have at least 1,008 Mahaprashadam offerings at the end of the day. Minimum. Like that, so. And it becomes so nice. If every lady does, how many, I don't know, every lady does about 50 preparations, that's not hard. Is that too much? And then we'd have more than 1,008, right? Easy. So, cook as much as you can, and offer wonderful bhoga to the deity. And bhoga is, this is a wonderful way to serve the Lord by offering wonderful foodstuffs to the Lord. And this is Janmashtami. And then Krishna will be pleased. When Krishna is pleased, taktva deham purna janmani naiti mameti sarjanam, then your spiritual life is perfect. So this is a wonderful day too. And I don't know what else I can say. Basically it's quite easy. We just have to focus and become organized and do it as much as possible. But it all centers around hearing and chanting glories to the Lord and serving the Lord in different ways, like that. And try to maintain the fast if you can. I may know it's hard for some people to fast, but drink a little water, because if you drink water, you can somehow easily continue to go on. So fasting is nice. You know what happens when you fast? When it's time to break the fast, you think, this is nice. May this fast continue forever. You feel light, your mind's clear, and you don't have to wash any dishes. So many good things about fasting. So Prabhupada used to say, fasting is feasting and feasting is fasting. So we enjoy feasting when we fast, and we enjoy fasting when we feast. So they are two similar sides of the same coin, to fast and feast. Okay, so any questions on Janmashtami? Some things with anything you'd like to mention? Any personal experiences? Yes.
Quick question. Janmashtami should be
Hare Krishna. Nirjala, or you should take Ekadasi Prasad? Which one is recommended?
You mean at the break fast time or throughout the day? No, you can't take Ekadasi Prasadam throughout the day. No. That's for the midnight. You can't break. You don't break. You continue till the next day when you take grains. So the Ekadasi Prasadam is offered at midnight. not grains. That's a regulation. If you take grains, you break the principles. You can't take grains on. And throughout the day, you can take water, and for those who can't do it, they can take a little bit of fruit. That's a big concession. Some people are old and require they have to have some food or else they get sick. So fruit is allowed, but don't take advantage of that. These are concessions and not the standard. The concessions are for those who require concessions. The standard is to maintain. You can take water throughout the day. If you drink water, a lot of times hunger is destroyed by drinking water. That's a fact. Even health people say a lot of times we eat when all we really need is some water. Because water somehow satisfies the whole system. So, yeah. So a little water throughout the day, and for those who can't do it, a little bit of fruit, light fruit like that. But that's all. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, one of the points you mentioned is to stay awake
Throughout the night.
Throughout the night. So is it like till the sunrise in the next night?
Till the sunrise.
Okay. Thank you.
And then there's a titi that breaks the ekadasi, that you break the ekadasi at a certain time the next day with grains. Don't worry about sleep. We've been sleeping all the time. That's all we do. Take a break from sleeping. When you're having fun, do you ever think of sleep? No. It's just when you're not having fun, you think, huh. You can do that. I mean, Prabhupada didn't enforce that, but he did enforce the ekadasi. If you're required to go to sleep after the prasadam, you can do that. But to get the full benefit of the Janmastami, it's mentioned to stay up and continue with the glorifications. Devotees can do bhajans and sing. After taking prasadam, you're enlivened again and you've got some energy. Now you can do bhajans. You can read like that. What I'm saying is the more you do it, according to the tradition, the more you'll receive the mercy of the Lord. Because Krishna is speaking these, there's 19 things he lists. I just read 18 of them, one I didn't read, because that one is that'll scare everybody, so I didn't read it. If you want to know what that is, you can ask me privately. But Krishna said it also. So. Anything else? Yes.
So if you break with grains, should you only take a little bit because it's Prabhupada Vyas Puja and you have to fast till noon?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you keep the fast going to the... Prabhupada's appearance day is supposed to be the biggest feast of the year. There's two big feasts of the year, Prabhupada's appearance day and Govardhan Puja. This is a statement by Prabhupada himself. The appearance day of the founder Acharya and so you make you know, whatever grains that you cook for the deities that night and offer throughout the day, you keep them and then you serve that out for Prabhupada's feast the next day. Then you have a grand feast. That's for Prabhupada. And that's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon the next day. austerity is the wealth of the Brahmin class. Anyway, you can try your best and Krishna will always help you. Any other questions? John Mastami? Should I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? How many of you are going to do it? Okay. Fast throughout the day and use the whole day for glorifying Krishna. That's all. Okay. Tea and coffee? No. No chai, no coffee, coffee, coffee. Coffee, 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 chai, 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 chai. No Mataji. No, 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 no. No bueno. How do you say it in Hindi? Nay, nay. We have something better than coffee. It's called jalebis. So yeah, no coffee. We don't take coffee throughout the year either. I have a book. It's called The 4 Principles of Freedom. It's for sale. And it's the 4 regulative principles: no illicit sex, no intoxication, no meat eating, no fish eating, no pan, no chai, no garlic, no onions, no coffee. Oh my God, what a... It's terrible. No gambling. So I have this book, which I brought. I thought I'd bring it because I thought you might like it. Anybody wants to know about the 4 regulative principles? This is a nice explanation from the moral and ethical point of view. Why do we follow these 4 principles? And we have a sale today. If you buy 2, if you buy 1, it's $5. If you buy 2, you pay 20. No. No, just kidding. Special sale. No, it's $5 a piece. It's really nothing. So I have about 9 books left, if anybody wants it. So thank you for asking that question. But just for, no coffee. Because coffee is an intoxication. And so tea, we can take herbal teas, but tea without caffeine. No Coke? Yeah. Yeah, that's... No cocaine, she said. Okay. 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 Yeah, okay. Then Coke also has caffeine in it. Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, yes. Herbal tea? Yeah, but not on Janmashtami though. Yeah, so herbal tea is okay. But Prabhupada didn't like herbal tea so much. He didn't really say yes or no, but when someone asked Prabhupada, we have some tea without, he said, no tea. And that was the end of it. But somehow or other, our whole society makes tea, herbal teas. Somehow it's going on. So So we don't get so strict about that one because we're not sure exactly what Prabhupada meant. But one can take tea that is free from caffeine. That's the whole thing. Okay, so anything else on Janmashtami? Okay, thank you very much. Shri Krishna Janmashtami ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Parasham Sundar ji ki jai. Such beautiful deities, my God. You have been blessed. I have to say, I don't want to sound presumptuous or proud, but I couldn't take my eyes off them when I took darshan. So beautiful. They're very sweet, very petite, and very much there. Their presence is very strong. So as your worship continues, their presence will become more and more prominent in your life. So you're very fortunate. So that means the Lord is pleased, and so He's come in that form. So someday they'll be here every day. We want that. So.
Thank you so much, Candramauli Swami Maharaj. We are so very grateful to receive your association, hear from you on this Janmashtami day. Particularly, I feel so happy that you are blessing us by your presence just before we are about to begin our new temple construction. And we pray that you continuously pray for us so that Sri Sri Radha Shyamasundar come on the altar very soon. Thank you so much, Maharaj. So today's Sunday feast sponsored by 3 families. Dev Iyer seeking the blessings for his son Adit. Are they here? Dev Iyer? No. Maya Jain seeking blessings for ancestors that departed, the departed souls of the family members. Is this family, anybody here today? No? Who is that? Okay. It says Maya Jain. Mayank, okay. And today also Sumangala Mataji and Krsna Prema Prabhu are sponsoring Sunday feast. Let us all pray that all these families progress in their Krishna consciousness. They keep Krishna in the center of their lives and all the blessings be with them. Please chant after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please receive the prasadam from Abhay Prabhu. And if anyone else is interested in sponsoring Sunday feast, please contact Abhay Prabhu here. So after you heard Candramauli Maharaj speak about the upcoming Janmashtami festival, as you all can see, Radha Shyamasundar is on the altar. There are many ways in which you can serve their lordships. There is a receptionist sitting at the front lobby. You can talk to her. She will be able to guide you. And also today we have set up some Archana plates. So after these announcements, before you go for prasadam, if anybody is interested in offering some Archana for the Lord, you can take the plates from there and give it to our Pujari. And he will be very happy to make the offering on your behalf. Also, tonight, usually we close the curtain at 8 o'clock. So tonight, after closing the curtain, their lordship's dress will be changed, and again we will be opening the curtain at 8:30. So from now till 8:30 there will be some kirtan going on in the temple, so you can come and participate and take their darshan by 8:30 tonight, those of you who would like to stay back. You can take your prasadam and come back here. Any other announcements?
Volunteers, we need a lot of support.
So we need a lot of support for Janmashtami, for tomorrow, day after. Please contact Sumangala Mataji for the same. Thank you all for coming. The prasadam is served downstairs. Thank you. Hare Krishna.